Well, we are here at E3 2016 at the Rare booth with Robin Beanland, head of music for Rare. Thanks for talking with us.
No problem.
Yeah.
Lovely to talk to you. Always nice to talk to you.
Ah, yes. We've met each other several times before. Yeah. It's always a thrill, yeah. So first, let's talk a bit about your role at Rare. What exactly do you do as the head of music?
I write the music, basically.
It's pretty self-explanatory.
That's basically it. Yeah, I mean, in example of Sea of Thieves, I'm writing all the music for that. And just sort of I suppose in previous games is maybe sort of get other musicians involved or things like that, or that's basically it. Just it's writing music.
We've seen the fantastic audio team that you have on the Halloween video, the Putrid Pumpkins.
Oh, yeah.
How do you integrate within that team, and like how do you divide the work to make all the audio in the game?
All right, so that was the audio guy. So that's the sound designer. So which usually. What you get with a lot of audio people is they often play instruments and stuff. So there's like John Mason, who is the audio director at Rare. So he's on the drums on that one. Mm-hmm. Jamie Hughes, he's very talented musician.
Oh yeah, he's been with Rare a long time.
He has, yep. Banjo Pilot on, yeah.
We love Banjo Pilot.
Yeah.
It started as a Diddy Kong pilot, and so there's a little bit of Donkey Kong-esque music in there.
And what was it, the Banjo
Granny's Revenge?
That's one.
That's the one.
Which he did a fantastic job on, I thought.
Absolutely.
So Jamie's very good multi-instrument player, man, person. And then Guillaume is a French sound designer who we have in contract, and this is for the Halloween video. Yeah, so he plays quite a bit of stuff as well, different sort of instruments and stuff like that. So he sort of swapped around a bit. But they sort of focus. They've done all the sort of fantastic sound design, all the sort of the cannon blast, all that kind of stuff that you hear on there. They've done all of that. And John's done a lot of implementation, along with sound design. So I don't know. We just kind of all interact together and just try and make great audio and great music.
Yeah, I love the fact that you very rarely, if ever, like take from a sound library. Everything, even down to the instruments you play, are things that you are doing there in the studio. Why is that important to you?
I just think it just gives it its own signature. I think one of the very first things we did with Sea of Thieves is we went to a folk music shop in Birmingham called Hobgoblin, and we just went in there and just tried loads of different instruments. Concertina being one of the main ones.
Is this the one where you got the really wheezy concertina that you talked about?
Yeah. So and we went and tried loads of different ones, and we went, no, it sounds too clean, it sounds too nice. And then there's just this kind of pretty beaten up one, and it's just really creaky, and some of the notes kind of distort a bit against each other, but it's just that's perfect. That's it, and that's the kind of thing we just wanted to have, that signature, that sort of piratey, just feels sort of believable in the world, that because the instruments are real within the world.
Yeah.
Besides being in the soundtrack, they're also in the world as well.
And these characters likely aren't going to upkeep their instruments all that much.
That's the thing. It's just and the other thing is they don't want to. Some of the playing is kind of a bit. It's kind of there.
Yeah.
For a pirate, so they're not sort of like virtuoso musicians. It's kind of a bit of fun to drink a bit of grog and have a little play and a sing-song.
A little out of tune once you get the grog down?
Absolutely out of tune, yeah. And that's the same with the hurdy-gurdy. That's a guy called Neil Brook in Lancashire made that hurdy-gurdy. And I had quite a few conversations with him on the phone about hurdies and the different ones he had, and we opted for that one. And we've had so much use out of it, more use than I thought we would have done. Mm-hmm. And it's featured heavily in the soundtrack.
Yeah.
It's just kind of squeaky. The thing with all these instruments, you don't really know what you're going to get. Mm-hmm. They just sound so scratchy and you just kind of being recorded, because you never know what you're going to get.
Well, one of my favorite memories from last year's E3 is when we met you. You were so excited about the new instruments that you had. You were like pulling out your phone and showing us all of that, and you had actually, I don't know if at that point you had made the bones, but can you talk about like what that process was to get that clacking?
The rhythm bones is probably one of the oldest instruments in the world, because it's bones.
Yeah.
And they're made out of bones, cow ribs. So I went down to my local butcher's. And I said, I'm after some. I'm trying to think what I said to him. I knew it was going to be a bit odd because he's going to assume I'm cooking something, which is what he did. So I took my iPad in with me. I said, "Do you have any cow ribs?" And he said, "What are you making? Spare ribs?" I went, "No, no, no." And I got my iPad out and said, "I'm making rhythm bones." And he was like, "Right, okay. Oh, all right. No, you want the flat ribs. You want the flat ribs. That's what you need for that. Come back on Friday and I'll have a bag full for you." So I did. And that's it. Yeah, I got a big bag of ribs from him. Still meat on them and everything. So I had to boil them in the pan. My dog Jasper was going mental trying to get to the bones.
I think we smelled a little bit of Jasper in the back of your car.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, he's a beagle.
Yeah.
And I got the bones in the pan, and for good measure, I put some rum in there because I thought it's a pirate game. So I don't know what difference that made. I just thought I'm going to chuck some rum in that and boil it. So I boiled them for ages and got all the meat off, dried them out. And then it was just a case of kind of just filing them and trying to get them to the right length. And they started off a bit too long. And I had to learn to play them as well. So that took me. I took 3 days learning how to play them.
That must have been exhausting because it's a wrist motion.
It's just the whole kind of movement, and I knew I was going to be, getting on the nerves of the other audio guys. So I took myself off into the studio, locked the doors, and started clicking away and trying to get the rhythm. And to the point that the noise was getting to me so much, I had to put a pair of headphones on just to stop the sort of...
Yeah, you'd hear it in your sleep and...
Yeah. That's kind of been the sort of thinking behind this. It's just to sort of let's get those old instruments and just learn them, and I don't have to play it perfectly, but if we can kind of get round it on them, get round the sort of tune I'm trying to do. Yeah,
it's excellent.
And I think I'm really pleased with the results.
Oh yeah, and you were able to teach it to all of us relatively quickly. With an instructor like you, we can take it pretty quickly.
YouTube is a fantastic resource, and I use it all the time, and that's what I just went on Rhythm Bones on YouTube, and there's quite a few tutorials there.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, it's just a case of just persevering with it, and it kind of came off.
Yeah.
I'm trying to teach Greg how to play them.
Oh, are you? Yeah. How's he doing?
Well, he's nicked them, so I could have played them for the now, but could have played them for you now, but they've gone off somewhere. So
that's fine. We'll let him have his toy.
Yeah.
So going back, all the music that you've made for past Rare titles, one of the things that's so striking about your work is that regardless of the genre of game, you're always able to kind of nail it. And I don't want to embarrass you with praise, but Jet Force Gemini is one of my favorite titles that Rare's put out, and just that you and Alistair Lindsay put together. Is that right?
Alistair Lindsay. Yep.
It's a space opera, and you had never done anything, to my knowledge, like that before. And you had also done work for Killer Instinct, and Conquer's Bad Fur Day has so many different styles, and now a pirate game. How is it? What's your process in trying to understand what goes into a new genre of music so you can get the most out of it?
I think the thing with I'm in a very fortunate position. That I'm an in-house musician at Rare, and I get the luxury of time to sort of do that whole exploration thing, and it's probably one of the most enjoyable parts of any game project is that sort of beginning where you're just trying to discovering the kind of music, and you're listening to lots of music, and it's just trying to get your head in that space, and then just trying to make it sound authentic. And Jet Force Gemini was something. Well, I was trying to do orchestral music on an N64. That's the aim, but obviously I can't do that because there's hardly any memory. But I don't know, it's just listening to lots of music and just trying to get something that felt grand and epic, I suppose.
Yeah, and in fact, there's been some footage that's come out from 12 Tales Conquer 64, one of the earlier ones, and I think actually our friend Amir is the one who put out that footage. He got his hands on it somehow. But one of the things that I noticed was there was like a Roman Colosseum level that had the intro music from Jet Force Gemini in it. How do you decide? How do you decide what tunes you can reappropriate like that? Is it just kind of what you have lying around?
That was just a happy accident. It was like a tune that I was pretty pleased with when I wrote it, and I just thought that melody. Exactly. Kind of, I thought that could probably work actually if I just pull it around a little bit. So that's what I did, really.
Excellent.
And it turned out pretty well, I thought.
Yeah. I'm curious, as you've been working on Sea of Thieves, are there any memories from either the developing the music or even just playing the game that really stand out to you as like kind of crystallizing like this is the game that I love working on? Because I can see the passion when you talk about it.
Yeah. Which any game that I think there's always been something from every game. Like Killer Instinct was my first game,
right?
So that's always going to have a sort of place in my heart because it's the first game I ever worked on with Graham Norgate. We both started at Rare together the same day.
Oh yeah.
That was our first thing, and it was kind of so much just thrown in at the deep end and go right, get on with it.
Did you know him previously? Was he in the band with you and Grant, or no?
No.
Oh, okay.
We just both went, sort of sat next to each other in a reception in the moment. All right. And then.
Excellent.
Just went on from there.
That's your new collaborator.
Yeah.
Get at it.
Yeah.
And as for Sea of Thieves, like specifically working on this game, are there any standout moments to you, like when you realize this is the game that I want to be writing music for?
Interestingly, I mean, I'm really. This has got to be. I think this could be the game I'm enjoying the most. I think in terms of writing the music for. It's just such a fantastic, rich subject to sort of. The whole way we're sort of approaching it and making that sort of gnarly, cranky kind of piratey music. Interestingly, I usually sit and write melody first. Melody and chords is kind of anything that's kind of got a strong melody. I think you're onto a winner. If you get an earworm,
an apoca worm, as Chris Alcock would put it.
Yeah, a apoca worm. Then I think that's what I like to do. I like to get something that's memorable that people can whistle. If I'm hearing people whistling it, then I know I've sort of gone down the right path. But interestingly, the first thing I did on that title tune was the bones, the rhythm of the. I was just sat in the studio, just messing around. I think it's probably trying to learn how to play the bones, and I just kind of came up with this rhythm. I thought I kind of like the feel of that, and that kind of set the tone. I just overdubbed a load of bones on top of each other, playing that rhythm. And I went from there, which is, I don't usually approach it that way, but it was kind of, that just sort of, it had the tone of pirate.
Yeah, it sounded, as you were playing sort of you had the tracks laid out, and you would lessen them, and eventually it was just kind of the percussion, and it sounded like someone being marched to their execution. It was really like foreboding. It was cool.
That with it had like a big heavy sort of bass drum.
Right.
And that was the first thing I did. I think on Sea of Thieves, that was the first thing I did.
Yeah.
Which I normally sit and write a melody first, but then I kind of thought, well, that's kind of the tempo and what I'm going to go for, and then I wrote the melody pretty quickly after that.
And now actually you have an opportunity. We just found out that there are shanties as being performed by a pirate band here.
Yeah.
They were playing Grog Males. Did you write the lyrics to that one?
I did.
Okay.
Grog Males, I wrote that's all me. Yeah.
That's you. Excellent.
Yeah.
So how does that change the way you approach a piece of music at all when you have to have lyrics in it?
Well, I suppose you just have to make more space for. That's kind of the feature of the tune is the lyrics, lyrics and melody, I suppose.
Yeah. And those are hilarious, by the way. I know that you did some with the Great Mighty Pooh back in Conquers Bad Verde.
Yes.
So you've dabbled a bit in games with those kind of tunes, but. Yeah. I love that, not only do you have this musical talent, but your lyrics are fucking hilarious. So, yeah, brilliant work there. Yeah.
I think, I was just trying to thought, well, it's Greg Males, I thought, let's start with Grog Males as his pirate name is, and I just thought that sounds like the perfect place to start for a shanty to me. So then that was kind of it. I just sat with a rhyming dictionary and just looking at a load of piratey kind of stuff and thinking how I can paint this picture of a character called Grog Males.
Right.
It has placarded to the core.
Right. Yeah, vivid imagery too. Cutlass off your knees just made me cringe.
Yeah. Skin your chest.
Right through your vest.
I'll cut this off your knees. Yeah. I was quite pleased with that one.
That's a good one. So the way we're capping all these interviews off is asking, as you're on a field of victory in Sea of Thieves, what's the one exclamation? What's going through your mind? What are you saying in a piratey way?
All right, so at the moment where we're just about to sink, but we're still taking everybody on, and it's going to be, I fancy these chances, me hearties.
I fancy these chances, me hearties. All right, let's give it for the camera. On 3. 1, 2, 3.
Together?
Yeah, together.
Okay,
1, 2, 3. I fancy these chances, me hearties. All right, thanks a lot, man. That was great. Brilliant.
Thank you.